Hey Raiders, Jacko here with another Raid Shadow Legends video. So today, we're going to go into another one of my top 5 list, top 5. This time, we're not looking at armor, we're not really looking at champions, we're going to look at the beasts that come in to combat. So we're looking at Warbeasts today, the top 5 Warbeasts in Raid Shadow Legends. Now, this is a topic that I would really like to be able to go more in depth on. I think adding Warbeasts to the game is a brilliant idea. I think you can have massive amounts of variability, massive amounts of really cool things if you started adding more Warbeasts into the game. As it is, we only have maybe 10, maybe 15 Warbeasts all told in the game. So this list is going to go over essentially half of the ones, and the ones that I think are the coolest. But I think it's an untapped resource for Plarium. I think they could really dive into a lot of these factions and start putting in really neat, really creepy Warbeasts. I mean, imagine a Black Widow based spider for the Dark Elves here, or something like a giant elephant or something along those lines in one of these. I think it would be absolutely amazing. You could put griffins and high elves. All kinds of really cool Warbeasts could be put into the game. So I wanted to highlight the ones we already have in the game and how cool they really are. So without further ado, we're going to go into my top 5. Again, number 1 being my absolute favorite of the Warbeasts. And we're looking at aesthetics as well as functionality and things like that. Who would you actually maybe possibly use? There aren't many of the Warbeasts, sadly, that you're going to want to use on a team. So we're going to go into aesthetics as well. And with that, we're going to start off in the orcs with Gore Mask. Now, Gore Mask is one that you can get from one of the campaigns, and as such, you're going to end up with a ton of him at some times as you're farming up different things. But look at this beast. It's a large kind of mix between a dog and a hyena, given the fur on the front aspects. He's got a little bit of a feline aspect to the face that's not with the ears and everything. It's not purely canine, it's not purely feline, it's this really neat mix. Now, he is absolutely splattered with red paint, but that's cool. What really strikes me and puts him in my number 5 over some of the other ones is this jaw piece, this articulated jaw armor. Now, it looks like it is probably adhered to his jaw somehow, but it means that when he goes in for a bite, which is probably his most damaging attack, that spike piece is going to just rip holes in his enemies. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And it provides protection for his jugular and everything, which is going to be exposed after he bites someone. It would be an easy place to get rid of Gore Mask if he bit you on the arm or something. Just draw your blade across the jugular, wait a couple seconds, and he falls off dead. But with that guard there, it means that he's going to latch on and stay on for quite some time, which is really cool. He's also got chest protection, which frankly beats out half of the barbarians and at least a third of the orcs to begin with. I mean, he's actually protecting the vital organs in his chest and all. That's awesome. And it's spiked on the front, which means when he's throwing his weight into things, he's going to be doing damage. I assume it's a he. I'm making a vast assumption there since they do not put genitalia on their champions. So, Gore Mask, they're all going to be its. On the back here, he's got a heavy shield so that he can essentially get into combat without taking any debilitating blows is the hope here. And it's spiked, which means as he throws his weight around again, he's going to be doing some damage. So for all of that, I'm putting Gore Mask here at my number 5 spot of coolest Warbeasts in Raid Shadow Legends. On an aesthetic level, I'm going to go ahead and give Gore Beast here an overall aesthetic of 4 gourds. I think he's actually really cool. Next up, we move over to the Demons, who's one of the only other factions who actually has any kind of Warbeast, with Felhound. Now, Felhound here is very lizard-like, in my opinion. He's got thick, kind of, not scaly, but mottled skin, so think like rhinos and hippos and elephants and things like that. But he's also got these bone protrusions that kind of look like scales, especially on the shoulder here. Gore Mask even went so far as to get its owner to build this absolutely amazing helm here. I mean, take a look at that. That is really pretty. It's got some modeling in it. Could be wear, but I like to think that that's kind of like the Damascus steel process, the pattern welded blades. Essentially a part of the forging process that gives you texture within the metal itself. And I think that's absolutely brilliant. Plus, the helm is protecting his most vital organ, the brain. Felhound here is just a really cool looking beast. And that tail is going to be absolutely brutal in a battle. I mean, tails have a lot of strength and a lot of weight behind them to begin with. Go find a big dog and let it wag its tail into you. 9 times out of 10, it's going to knock you off your feet with a really big dog. But this one's even heavier, has even higher weight content. I mean, it's got bone protrusions and everything, increasing the weight. So Felhound here is going to just absolutely murder people when he gets happy. He's just going to jump into the enemy formation and knock half of them off their feet, while tearing at the other half. He's got great protection for the spine in the bone plating, and for the front of him, he's got very good frontal protection. Sadly, he's got very little protection for his hindquarters and his chest and such. But he's really cool looking, so that's why we're going to put him in our number 4 slot. And as an aesthetic overview, he's going to go ahead and match Gore Mask here and get an overall aesthetic of 4 gourds. Really do like the way they've put together some of these Warbeasts. I mean, they're just absolutely wonderfully looking. We're going to go back over to Orcs for the next one and look at the only epic we can find, which is Terror Beast. Now, you can see under the differences, Terror Beast is almost essential to Gore Mask, which is pretty sad. I mean, it's the same body type, it even has the same coloration, the same red paint here. But they went a step extra on the armor. They gave Terror Beast here a full helm, including the underjaw piece. He's got the protection here, and he's got a much more comprehensive shield, articulated from the looks of it, across his back. He is a much more heavily armored Warbeast than Gore Mask was. Sadly, he doesn't seem to have any eye slots. I mean, there might be little holes in the mask there to let him see. But he's going to have to be working on commands given by whoever its owner is, or sent maybe. Or maybe he just barrels in and does damage like a goblin fanatic, and you just hope that it's damage to the other team. But I love this kind of dusty black and orange coloration on there. It speaks to my Halloween heart, in all honesty. So Terror Beast, all the same things that apply to Gore Mask, the protecting of the internal organs, the protection of the spine and everything, can all be said for Terror Beast as well. But he also protects his head, his brain, and that's going to be absolutely wonderful, as well as his neck, essentially, on the top here. He's got more articulated armor on the top. I absolutely love it. The addition of chain pieces holding the armor on and all is great. I really like when chain is incorporated into an outfit. So Gore Mask takes our number 3 slot, and as such, we're going to go ahead and give him an overall aesthetic overview of 4 gourds as well. He's not quite to the 5 gourd, mostly because he can't see, but he is still a really cool looking Warbeast. Which brings us to our last 2, and our last 2 are going to be in Lizardmen, because frankly, Lizardmen has some really cool Warbeasts. Starting with Vergumkar. Vergumkar is a massive support lizard. And I don't mean that just because of the type of champion he is. He's going to be... Just look at this guy. He's a support lizard. He's essentially the combat Saint Bernard of the Lizardmen. He tramples into battle, bringing people kegs of probably ale. I mean, look at those horns, drinking horns. That's got to be ale. So he's barreling into combat to protect people, give them shields if they need it, give them weapons if they need it, give them alcohol when they need it, maybe some healing medical supplies in this little batch. He's just a great little dude. He's got all kinds of, like, linked chain for a little bit of protection, although he probably needs all that linked chain to, keep those barrels of beer on. You could say that he has armor in the shields, though in all likelihood, I'm expecting that those are going to get pulled off of him in the heat of battle for the people he's supporting. I mean, he's a great piece at the center of a formation to just keep your people in the fight, keep your people happy and everything. It looks like, if you look at his jaws, that he's got some sort of poison maybe that he secretes. He's definitely got a lot of drool there, and it's green looking. So we're going to assume poison in that regard, that he's probably helping with the fight as well. Plus, just look at the mass of this guy. I mean, if he goes barreling into a formation of standard human-sized critters, he's just going to bowl them over. It's going to be toy soldiers flying in every direction. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Add into that this massive horn structure here, and he is a living battering ram. It's absolutely wonderful to see. So Vergamkar here takes our number 2 slot. And as an overall aesthetic overview, I'm going to give him 5 gourds. I think he's absolutely phenomenal. I don't think there's really anything about him that stands out as glaringly uninteresting. All of these shields are very nicely tooled. They're very nicely decorated. The drinking horn is gorgeously decorated. Why he put wings on his alcohol, I assume it's because he wishes he was a little bit more dragon-like and wants to be able to fly. But who can fault him? I mean, when it comes down to it, don't we all want to be a little bit more dragon-like? So that brings us to our number 1, who is the impeccable little dragon Dracomorph. Not only is this champion an absolute beast when it comes to progression, when it comes to endgame content, he's well into the top 10 of the best legendaries or best champions in the game. And he's a little dragon. How freaking cool is that? He's got absolutely gorgeously painted, colored scales here along his neck. He's got a full set of 4 horns, and he's got beautiful wings. He's this little draconic powerhouse that's just going to take your game from interesting to just absolutely mind-bendingly exciting. Maybe I'm biased. I do like my dragons, and because of that, Dracomorph definitely takes our number 1 spot on coolest Warbeasts out there. Vergamkar, Terror Beast, they're all very interesting Warbeasts, but Dracomorph is a miniature dragon. Just absolutely amazing. And he's this powerful as a miniature dragon. Think about what happens when Dracomorph finally grows up and gets to be the size of, say, the dragon in Dragon's Lair. He's just going to be absolutely overpowered. So, he gets our number 1 spot for today, our most awesome, epic Warbeast in the game. And without any doubt, he gets a full 5 gourds on his aesthetic overview. He's just a really cool looking little dragon, and I love the black and blue colorations on him. It's that they did a really good job. They've got the black and blue as highlights, and then they did the rest of the body with black and tan to really make those highlights pop and catch your attention. He's got some sort of paint or something behind the eyes, but he just looks really cool. So there you have it. Those are my top 5 epic, badass, most interesting, however you want to put it, my top 5 Warbeasts in Raid Shadow Legends. And as I said, they really could go just hog wild with putting Warbeast champions in the game. I think it would be a much better idea than just reskinning another model like they've been doing in the past. That's just a sad way to go, in my opinion, when they could just get out there and start putting Warbeasts in. It would be absolutely phenomenal. Can you see an entire team of like little dragons and such running through, tearing things up? It would be epic. What sort of Warbeast, in your opinion, would look just absolutely badass, and for which faction? Do you think it's like Manticores maybe for Sacred Order or something like that? Please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your ideas on cool Warbeast ideas. Otherwise, as always, please remember to like, subscribe, and toll that bell so you don't miss out on any episodes. And I'll see you next time on Jacko's Raider Rants.